the moment the janitor screamed, "She's not dead!" Inside a billionaire's silent funeral hall, every head turned in disbelief, but what no one realized was that the next few minutes would expose a lie worth billions, shatter powerful families, and turn the poorest man in the room into the only reason a woman would breathe again. And by the end of this story, you'll understand why sometimes the truth only listens to those everyone ignores. As the coffin began to lower, and the billionaire's empire prepared to move on without her, one forgotten janitor noticed something no doctor, no lawyer, and no powerful family member wanted to see, and what he did next would stop death itself. The funeral hall was built to impress, marble floors polished like mirrors, crystal chandeliers glowing softly above rows of black-clad elites who spoke in hushed voices about legacy, stocks, and succession rather than grief. At the center lay a white casket holding Amelia Rothman, the young billionaire heiress declared dead just 48 hours earlier after a sudden collapse. Doctors called it a rare neurological failure, lawyers rushed paperwork, and the board of directors wasted no time preparing to transfer control of her multi-billion-dollar empire. No autopsy was requested. No questions were welcomed. Death, it seemed, was very convenient. Elias Moore, the janitor, moved quietly through the hall with his cleaning cart, invisible as always. He had cleaned these floors for years, overhearing secrets worth fortunes, yet never once being looked at as a human being. But today something felt wrong. As he wiped near the casket, he noticed a faint fogging on the glass viewing panel, so subtle it could have been imagined. Then again. A pause. A delay? Elias froze. His heart pounded as memories flooded back of his late wife, misdiagnosed and buried too quickly, a mistake he had lived with every day. He leaned closer, ignoring the cold stares around him, and placed his fingers on the glass. It was warm. Not room warm. Body warm. His voice cracked as he shouted the words that shattered the silence. "She's not dead!" Gasps rippled through the room, outrage followed instantly, and security moved in, but Elias didn't back away. He pressed his ear to the coffin and heard it, a faint, irregular breath struggling to exist. The billionaire family erupted in anger, calling him delusional, accusing him of desecration, but when he begged them to open the casket, something unexpected happened. Amelia's finger twitched. Just once. The room fell silent. Paramedics were called, furious executives argued, and within minutes the coffin was opened to reveal Amelia barely alive, her pulse weak but undeniable. As she was rushed out, Elias collapsed against a pillar, shaking, knowing he had just challenged something far bigger than death itself. What he didn't know was that saving her life had just painted a target on his back. Saving her life was only the beginning, because once Amelia opened her eyes, the truth she uncovered would expose a betrayal so deep that even death had been part of the plan. Amelia woke up days later in a hospital room guarded by security and silence, her body weak but her mind burning with questions. The doctors explained she had been placed into a chemically induced paralysis, one that mimicked death so convincingly it fooled everyone except one man. Elias was brought to her bedside reluctantly, still wearing his janitor's uniform, hands trembling as he stood before the woman whose life he had pulled back from the edge. Amelia listened as he spoke about noticing the breath, the warmth, the feeling he couldn't ignore, and tears slid down her cheeks not from fear, but from realization. She revealed that weeks before her collapse, she had discovered irregularities in company accounts, hidden transfers leading straight to her uncle and several board members. When she confronted them, she felt dizzy shortly after drinking tea in her own office. The plan had been simple: declare her dead, move the money and bury the truth along with her. But Elias had ruined everything. As investigations unfolded, arrests followed swiftly, and the media turned the janitor into an unlikely hero, though he asked for nothing in return. Amelia refused to let him disappear back into silence. She publicly acknowledged him, restored justice within her company, and created a foundation in his late wife's name to support victims of medical negligence. Yet the most powerful moment came not in courtrooms or headlines, but in a quiet hallway where Amelia told Elias that the world nearly lost her because it stopped listening to ordinary people. Elias replied that the world nearly lost him years ago, but saving her finally gave his pain a purpose. As the story spread, it became more than a miracle rescue. It became a reminder that truth doesn't always wear expensive suits, and sometimes the voice that saves a life is the one everyone is trained to ignore. And as the camera fades out, one truth lingers stronger than wealth, power, or even death itself, that humanity survives when someone chooses courage over silence.